Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Billy Joel sang about a New York state of mind. Well, today we on Stress Talk are going to talk about a mindful state of mind. Are you up for it? Are you ready? Well, we'll get to it in just a few moments. Hey, ladies, I'm glad to see you today. Glad you could join me on this fall afternoon. It's kind of sunny here and it's cool we love it when it's cool because a lot of times it's really hot where I live, but it is nice and cool. It's pleasant. It's pleasant temperatures, and we are expecting pleasant temperatures throughout the week. Well, I have a few reminders for you before we get started to talking about our mindfulness state of mind. That's our subject today, mindfulness state of mind. I wanted to share with you that I want you to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. You can also follow me on Twitter if you like, and my handle is right there, ML Bailey Consultants. Just follow me. I'm always dropping some tips and ideas and things you can try to have long lasting stress relief. Also, I want you to also subscribe to our ML Bailey Consultants channel on YouTube. When you subscribe to the channel on YouTube, you get regular updates about our videos that we're posting. So I want to make sure that you do that as well. So not only do I want you to subscribe, I want you to follow. Okay, just follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and you can subscribe to the the YouTube channel. So let's talk about mindfulness. A mindfulness practice prepares us for when stuff happens, when the stuff hits the fan, when events occur that we weren't expecting, or when we have something that's very shocking or maybe very scary to us. When we practice mindfulness, we get in the habit of doing certain things, right? When we talk about habits, we're talking about those things that we do automatically, things we don't think about, things we don't put a lot of thought into, things that come automatically. For example, I'll bet when you get out of bed, you probably get out of bed the same way every morning. You put the same foot on the floor first, you stand up probably the same way. You walk into the bathroom at about the same time every morning because it is a habit. When we are eating, you probably have habits of eating, whether it is that you pick up the fork with your dominant hand, or you drink after taking a certain number of bites of food. It's a habit. You don't think about it, it's something that you do automatically. So, when I'm talking about a mindfulness state of mind, I'm talking about I'm talking about having a mindfulness practice whereby when stuff happens, you automatically move into that mindfulness state of mind. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to consciously make yourself do it. It's an automatic response to the situation. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. I wanted to share with you an experience that I had about a week ago. Yeah, it was last weekend. Um, when oops, there we go. When I was flying um, to um, visit my daughter, who now lives in Cleveland, Ohio, I was flying up for the weekend to visit her, spend the weekend with her, and I got caught in that Southwest Airlines debacle. So I took a sip of tea. And as you all know, Southwest Airlines canceled about 2,000 flights last weekend. Well, I don't normally fly Southwest. We used to fly Southwest all the time. I mean, we 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 did. We used to fly Southwest all the time because it is a low budget carrier, not a lot of frills, but it worked for our budget, within our budget. But now my family and I generally travel using Allegiant Airlines. They're really good for quick weekend trips, and it is also a low budget carrier. Okay, and with Allegiant, their mission is to provide high value low cost travel experiences for their customers, and that's exactly what they do. Um, they operate in a limited market. So I know that it's not available across the country, but they are like your scaled down. I mean, they are like bare bones, right? It's like the seats are narrow and they're plastic and they have very little cushion. Um, and in order to get in flight services, you have to pay a premium price for that because they don't have in flight service. They don't give you the peanuts or the pretzels. They don't give you the Coke or the soda that you want to drink or the coffee. There is none. If you want it, you have to pay for it. You also you have to pay for carry-ons if you take an additional carry-on. They allow you one carry-on and a small personal item, but you have to pay for additional carry-ons. The thing about Allegiant that we love, because I'm sure some of you are out there saying, "Ooh, you fly that?" Well, yeah, I do. We do. The thing that we like about Allegiant is that they assign your seats. They assign the seats, and you can, you can certainly pay to sit up closer to the pilot if you want it, but you don't have to. It's not like a cattle call. You know where you're going to sit. So boarding is pretty orderly, and you don't have to worry about whether you're going to get a good seat or not, or whether you're going to be stuck sitting in the middle. They also tend not to overbook their planes. So once the boarding has been once the boarding is complete, you can kind of move around. The flight attendants will let you change seats if you want. It's kind of a nice, it's a neat kind of setup. It's kind of a neat setup, but we like it. We love it. The air crew is always very friendly, they're professional, they're accommodating, and they're funny. And the passengers are really chill. They're chill. We all know what we're getting. We all know not to expect the frills. But what we have learned to expect is that Allegiant is going to arrive on time, if not early. So Allegiant is really my one of our choices for short flights, not for long flights, but for short flights and short weekend trips. Ones that we can get to our destination fairly quickly. Nothing that's going to be, you know, nothing that's going to cost a lot of money. Well, this past weekend, I didn't fly Allegiant. I flew on Southwest Airlines. And as I said earlier, Southwest Airlines had a debacle that caused them to cancel like over 2,000 flights last weekend. Friday night, I flew into Baltimore Washington International Airport, also known as BWI. Before I landed, I got a text saying that my flight was going to be delayed. Actually, I think before I left that evening and I was on the plane to BWI, I got this text saying that my flight to Cleveland was going to be delayed. Well, I immediately had a reaction to that. My immediate reaction was, oh crap, my flight is delayed. I didn't say, oh crap, but I thought something different. But basically, it was, oh crap, my flight was going to be delayed. And then I settled into what I had practiced and basically said, oh, okay, my flight's going to be delayed. And I became curious. What does that mean? Does it mean that I will need to change plans? And I wonder why the delay. Well, I also realized that I couldn't do anything at that moment. So I settled in and enjoyed the flight to BWI. One of the things that we need to remember is that when unexpected things happen, it sucks. And we can admit that. We can say to ourselves, well, that sucks. That's pretty crappy. We can say that. We can experience that. The thing about mindfulness is we want to recognize what we're thinking and acknowledge what we're feeling. So I want you to take a moment right now and I want you to just think about a situation that you experienced maybe in the past or recently that caused you to have a feeling that, um, it sucked. Just take a moment and think, just for a moment, about a situation. Now, generally, when we have situations that are unexpected and we know that it sucks, we do a couple of things. We either try to change the situation or we try to change the way we feel, or we try to do both. We try to change. When we have an established mindfulness practice, we don't try to change anything. Essentially, we recognize the situation, we acknowledge the situation, and we acknowledge what we feel. We don't try to change. There's no striving, there's no trying to fix it. We just acknowledge. And that's pretty important in a mindfulness practice. The next thing that we are aware of when unexpected things happen is that it ruins plans. It changes our plans. And I know that there were thousands of people who were stranded. I saw in the news that there was a family who actually missed the wedding of a loved one because of this situation. But it causes our plans to get changed. My plans were changed because my expectation was that I was going to arrive at a certain time and that my daughter and I would um, have most of the evening to spend together. Also, when things happen, it throws things out of sync, right? It causes our whole everything to get discombobulated. Life doesn't flow the way we want it to or the way we expect it to. And so we find ourselves trying to get things back in order. With mindfulness, again, if we can recognize the way things are and acknowledge the way we feel about them, then we can think clearly enough to cause the situation maybe not to go away or to cause our reaction to the situation to change. Unexpected events also causes automatic negative thoughts. And we talk about this a lot when we do cognitive behavioral therapy because those automatic thoughts are habitual thoughts that pop into our head and cause us to have feelings about certain things and about the way things are. So while I was in beta at BWI delayed, I was watching people and there were people who were just very frustrated. They were frustrated about what was going on. And you could tell by their body language, by how they were moving, that they were just not happy. So I'm sure they had negative thoughts, and that was leading them to have feelings that were also negative. So when we're practicing mindfulness and it becomes a habit, we can do a lot of different things that might be surprising. I was in the airport and I found myself feeling very calm. I was calm. I was not anxious. I felt as if I was in control of my emotions. I also had the opportunity to express gratitude while I was there. And that was pretty cool. One of the things that I expressed gratitude for was that Baltimore Washington International Airport has fabulous restaurants. I had an opportunity to sit and eat a wonderful salad, ate calmly. I had plenty of time to eat it. I didn't have to rush. I was also grateful that there were charging stations available. There were plenty of charging stations distributed throughout the terminal. I could sit with my phone and charge it while I sat and watched people go by. I had conversations with my husband, with our children, and I also had a conversation with a pilot who flies for a and a large retailer. So that was really exciting for me. The other thing that I was grateful for was that I had the ability to talk to my daughter and communicate what was going on. Gratitude is a foundational attitude of mindfulness. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. In the past, I probably would not have been grateful for all of those things. I would not have been openly grateful for those things. But the practice of mindfulness has helped me to make gratitude something that's automatic. It's an automatic experience in my life. I find that I'm grateful for very small things. I'm grateful for the fact that you all are watching and listening. I'm grateful for the fact that I can sit here on a Sunday afternoon and talk about how mindfulness has changed my life and how it has influenced my responses and reactions to unexpected situations. And I think that it can also influence yours as well. So here I was just watching people pass by, and I was expressing gratitude about the whole situation. And not only was I able to express gratitude, I was able to remain non judgmental. Non judgment is also a foundational attitude of mindfulness. And it reminds us to just be. Now, I'm sure you're probably saying that, non judgment, not having opinions about things is a passive stance. But it wasn't passive. I was able to take the actions that I needed to take in order to alert my family and also to make plans in the event my flight was canceled. One of the things is I called my family, let them know what was going on. They were also watching the flights. And I called my best friend and chatted with her. She happens to live close to BWI. So she was on alert to pick me up in the event that the flight was canceled. So I could think clearly, and I could remind myself that I had nothing to do with this situation. It's just an unexpected situation that occurred, whereby I could show myself some self compassion. I could be compassionate to myself. I didn't feel as if I had to fix anything. I didn't feel as if I was striving to do anything. I was just in a mindfulness state of mind. So, what does practicing mindfulness mean? And what does being in a mindfulness state of mind do? Well, first, it reduces stress. As I said earlier, I didn't feel stressed. I was pretty calm about the situation. I felt I was comfortable at the airport. I was engaging in um, positive conversations, and I was able to clearly and concisely express to my family and my friend what was going on and what I needed at the time. I also was very aware of how I was responding to the situation. When we practice mindfulness, we become very aware of ourselves, not only of what we think and what we feel, but we also become aware of how our body responds to different situations. Earlier, I asked you to think of a situation that was unexpected, that caused you concern. And I'm sure that you were mentally thinking about the situation, and you were also emotionally responding to those thoughts. Did you notice how your body was responding? Did you notice how your body felt? When we have an active mindfulness practice and when we are in a mindfulness state of mind, we become aware not only in regards to our emotional or our mental state, we also become aware of our physical state because the body is going to respond to stressful situations oftentimes without us recognizing it. And it will respond by initiating the stress response. So, an active mindfulness practice builds self awareness. The other thing is, we become more skilled or skillful at regulating our emotions. When these situations occur, sometimes it is difficult to regulate our emotions. So we may go from 0 to 60 in a couple of seconds when it does not, the situation doesn't even call for that. Or we become short tempered at others when it's really not their fault, or when they're trying to do the best they can to assist us. An active mindfulness practice helps us to regulate our emotions so that we're more even tempered. Now, does that mean that our emotions go away? Does it mean that we don't feel anything? Absolutely not. We continue to have emotions. We're humans and we should have emotions. We just don't have the extreme emotions. It's more even. It's more regulated. We're able to temper that anger, that frustration. It's more. It's not the extreme. Also, a mindfulness state of mind or the practice of mindfulness increases our capacity for self compassion. This is so important because we are usually our worst critics and we're very hard on ourselves. And we want to learn to be compassionate to ourselves because mindfulness helps us to practice compassion. And we want to start with ourselves. I said earlier that I knew that the situation of having a delayed flight was not at I, I didn't do anything to cause that, right? It was no fault of my own. And there are other situations that we find ourselves in that we blame ourselves for, but it's not because of us, it's just because it's something that happened. And then finally, a mindfulness practice helps us to have clarity of thought, and we are able to figure things out easily or easier. We have the ability to think clearly, to problem solve, to answer difficult questions about the situation. It heightens our cognition and it provides clarity of thought. So, those are some of the benefits of an active mindfulness practice. And I have to share with you that I am a proponent of mindfulness. I believe in it. I believe that it works. I believe that it helps us to live the life that we want to live. We want a satisfying life, and we can do that regardless of what goes on around us. I think that when we are the phrase tossed to and fro by situations that are around us, whether that's emotionally and mentally, it wears on our body, not just our mind or our heart. It wears on our body because it con- constantly initiates the stress response. We want to learn how to regulate those emotions, and we want to learn how to live in a way that we are able to manage unexpected situations, right? Like flight delays and cancellations, and so that we are not having the major swings that can cause us additional difficulty. I'm going to continue teaching about mindfulness, and I'm also going to have at the beginning of the year, I'm going to actually teach a class to help you to learn how to become more mindful and how to practice mindfulness in a way that it will impact your life in a positive manner. I okay, we're almost at the close. So, let me share this with you. October 31st, I'm going to begin my Get Through the Holidays series, and I have invited some fabulous entrepreneurial women to join me. They're going to share their favorite stress management hacks with you. These are women who are successful in their business and also who are journeying through life just like you are and just like I am. And they're going to share with you and me the hacks that they use when stress becomes overwhelming and things they do to tamp it down. Well, that's it for now. We're going to continue on our journey of mindfulness so that we can all be in a mindfulness state of mind. I'm Marcyline Bailey. That's all for now. Take good care.